Hello, today I am going to be answering the question, are semen retention benefits real? Now, we were on a group call last night, me and the guys inside the Beyond Compulsion Academy, and there's a new guy on the call, and he brought up a topic which I haven't thought about for quite a while, but I couldn't relate to him anymore. Like, honestly, what he was talking about, I was just like, damn, like I used to think exactly like that as well. Like I used to struggle with the exact same thing as him, because what he was talking about is this feeling that would come up for him where he felt like the urges were getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and like he was getting to a point where he'd feel like, I need to release, like I can't deal with this urge anymore. It's only going to keep on building up. It's going to distract me from my work. I won't be able to concentrate. I won't be able to focus. Like, you know, I want to do this thing so badly, but I feel like I can't do it. Like, I need to do it. I need to release. I need to get out of this. And I used to have the exact same thoughts. And he was talking about how a lot of his junky thoughts, as we call them, so junky thoughts, any rationalization, excuse to engage in a compulsive behavior, he was saying a lot of them are kind of based in like biology. Like there's sort of this idea around needing to release, and you know, there has to be some kind of outlet perhaps for the semen or something like that, right? Now, I used to think the same. So I totally got it, and I was just like, yeah, man, like I used to think the same. All of that stuff really just comes from like semen retention YouTube videos and semen retention people online who usually are in a porn addiction as well and are completely clueless. I think it started out perhaps with Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, because in that book, he talks about the power of sexual transmutation. And so maybe people have read that and gone, okay, well, semen retention benefits are real, and people have experienced some benefits from stopping their use of, you know, pornography, stopping their use of maybe masturbation, stopping sex. They felt some power from that. And here's the thing is, I do believe there is something going on here. Like, I'm not some ignorant guy who just completely dismisses the benefits of semen retention, but I think the misunderstanding is that people are gaining the benefits from the semen inside of their body, but I think it's more of a psychological thing that's going on here. I think if you can master your mind so much that you can deal with the discomfort of any sexual desire at any time, i.e. you manage to get to a position where you stop feeling like you sort of need sex, and you get to a position where you stop feeling like you need to masturbate, and you actually just are like, okay, I can deal with that discomfort. And maybe you still want to do those things, but you're like, I'm going to choose that discomfort. You're going to gain enormous benefits. Like it's dealing with that discomfort of the sexual desire as a man, which I believe gives you the benefits. It isn't like the semen moving through your body and now you have superpowers. Like it's just, it doesn't really make any sense. So I think it's all psychological, but I think people do attribute the benefits in their life to the whole semen retention thing because they think that's the correlation, but really it's the mastery of their own minds which is giving them these enormous benefits in their life. Because let's be straight, like you master your minds, like you master your desires really for anything, well, you're going to be in a very, very good place in life. Like you're going to be in control of yourself, and that's just going to spill over and ripple into like everything really. You know, you're going to be better in the gym, you're going to be better probably in social situations, you're going to be better in your work, you're going to have more just oomph about you and more sort of like emphasis on creation perhaps. And so yeah, maybe there's some correlation between being in control of your sexual desires and sort of benefits in life. Like I think that's, yeah, of course there is really. Let's be honest, there is. And I think a lot of guys have experienced that, but the whole semen part is where it gets really, really messy, pardon the pun there, but it does, because what will happen is if you're in a porn addiction and you think it's all to do with like the semen, you're just kind of giving the addicted part of the mind free ammunition. Because in addiction, there's these different parts in the mind. You have the rational part of the mind, you have the addicted part of the mind, you have the child self. We usually focus primarily on dealing with the addicted part of the mind in an effective way by putting the rational mind in control. And so what we're doing with this whole concept of semen retention and like looking at the biology side of things is we're basically saying to the addictive part of the mind, here's some free, AK-47, just go and like destroy me. Because then what the addictive part of the mind will do is it'll start coming up with all this like bullshit to get you to relapse, and it will say things like, this is just biological desire, this is my evolution, I need to release. And it'll say all this stuff because it'll start trying to convince you that like it's impossible for whatever reason to like hold that semen within your body, which is just a junkie thought. Like, it's just another junkie thought, but because it's kind of using biology as the junkie thought, it can be very, very convincing unless you're trained on dealing with the addicted part of the mind very specifically. So this idea of the urges building up and getting stronger and stronger and stronger, it's all junkie thinking. It's all just a rationalization by the addicted part of the mind to try and get people to relapse. And I know this very, very well because I've experienced all those thoughts, very, very strong desires. I've felt, and that's the key word there, felt, because it's not even real. I've felt like those urges are just going to be indefinite, like they're just going to keep on growing and getting bigger and bigger and stronger, and they're never going to stop. And oh my God, I've felt that loads and loads of times in the past. And then I've woken up the next day having like used my scripts and really dealt with those neural pathways correctly by thinking it through in a rational way. I've dealt with all of that without acting on the desire, changed that neural pathway a little bit, woken up the next day and it's just gone. Like there's literally no urge, and I'm just like, well, I'm fine. So that's how you can get to a position where you're just like, oh yeah, like all those thoughts are just bullshit. Like they're just more excuses to try and get me to relapse. So be careful with the semen retention stuff online. I think it just lends itself to junkie thinking and unanswerable questions, like questions that cannot be definitively answered. These are concepts we talk about more within the Beyond Compulsion Academy. If you would like to learn the exact same method that's helped me and many other men overcome their compulsive desires, then feel free to book in a one-on-one discovery call with me. I'll leave a link below. Cheers, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.